me inside your head now.
How much time was left?
You don't want to know.
Our last upload on this channel discussed a cutscene that we did not feel was very well written. But today, we're going to look at one of the best, if not the best cutscenes in the Halo franchise. That is, of course, the Return to Cinder scene from Halo 2. Ask any Halo fan what their favorite Chief quote is, and there is an above average chance that they will respond with the words, "to give the Covenant back their bomb," in as deep a voice as they can manage. Chief's amazing one-liners, Cortana's vaguely flirtatious warning, amazing action sequences that capture your dwindling attention span, there is nothing not to love about this scene. Today, though, I'm going to ask you to look past the obvious and think about the story that led us to this point. I believe that this scene is not just one of the coolest cutscenes in all of Halo, but also one of its most narratively significant. And before I begin, I want to let you know that I am currently working on a project called Halo 2 ODST, but I will have more details about that at the end of the video, so stick around if you want to hear more about that. But without further ado, I am your host Jacob. Join me as we discuss why the Return to Cinder cutscene is so important. And to understand the importance of this visual masterpiece, we do need some context. Humanity has been at war with the alien hegemony known as the Covenant for 27 years, and for 27 years, humanity has been losing. Every colony the Covenant find, they destroy. Billions of lives lost, because they are simply too technologically advanced. Because of this, humanity has adopted several security measures, including the Cole Protocol, which, among other things, called for the destruction of all data that could lead the Covenant to other human colonies by any means necessary. Oftentimes, this meant that all United Nations Space Command vessels or installations, as well as any civilian vessels, would purge their navigation data and then self-destruct if they were at risk for being captured. It also meant that fleeing UNSC ships had to take random slipspace vectors so the Covenant could not track them, which came with the inherent risk of jumping into a sun or a planet. But while these precautions slowed Covenant progress into human space, progress was made anyway because the Covenant are giant nerds. Eventually, this led to the fall of the UNSC's Fortress Among the Stars, the planet Reach. Reach was a hub for the UNSC. It sat on Earth's doorstep and was the most fortified colony in human space. And when it fell, it didn't take years or even months. Reach fell in less than 7 weeks. The force brought to bear against naval assets in orbit was, as usual, overwhelming. During the conflict, the UNSC cruiser Pillar of Autumn managed to escape by making what the captain of the ship believed to be a random slipspace jump in compliance with the Cole Protocol. The quote random unquote jump brought them to a ring world known as a Halo, an ancient superweapon that a race of beings known as the Forerunners created and then left lying around for reasons. And here I am going to stop because someone is typing in the comments right now. I can hear them getting angry at me because I didn't go into excruciating detail about the Forerunner Flood War and didn't tell you exactly why the Halos are still in the galaxy, or I didn't explain that the jump is not actually random. Fellow nerds, I'm speaking to you. Do not actually me because I didn't choose to waste time talking about a subject that has nothing to do with this video. I do know the lore. Trust me, saying 4 reasons is sufficient in this case. Thank you. Moving on, the story of the Pillar of Autumn takes place during the game Halo Combat Evolved, where the surviving crew managed to resist Covenant forces in time for Master Chief Petty Officer John 117 to destroy the Halo. Fleeing the destruction, Master Chief, Cortana, and a handful of survivors capture a Covenant ship and return to Reach, since the Cole Protocol says they cannot bring it to a UNSC-controlled system, and Reach is definitely not controlled by the UNSC anymore. While there, they pick up a handful of Spartans who survived the Battle of Reach, and through a series of events, find out that the Covenant have discovered the location of Earth. Leading a first strike against the Covenant invasion force, the Spartans sneak aboard the battle station commanding the fleet, and they do their best to let them know that it is humanity that was created in God's image and that they can kick rocks. This raid resulted in the detonation of the battle station, which destroyed virtually all of the 500 ships around her. The surviving members of this mission then returned to Earth and warned them that the aliens are coming. This leads us directly to the opening of Halo 2, where a fleet of Covenant ships, much smaller than the one that attacked Reach, enter the Sol system and begin attacking Earth. The Master Chief defends the orbital defense platform designated Cairo Station from Covenant borders, while the ODPs Malta and Athens are blown up. The AI Cortana determines that Malta and Athens were destroyed by mass delete weapons that the aliens brought with them and guides Chief to the device that was brought aboard Cairo. Disarming the mass delete weapon, Chief hears that one of the Covenant carriers has its shields down, which gives him an idea and leads us to this glorious cutscene.
Cairo, this is an Emberclad. The carrier shield is down. I'm in position and ready for immediate assault.
Negative, Commander. Not against a ship that size. Not on your own.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.
I know what you're thinking, and it's crazy.
So, stay here.
Unfortunately for us both, I like crazy. Just one question. What if you miss?
I won't.
I love this cutscene. But if we stop and look beyond the excellent action sequences, there is something this scene shows that we have not seen in the Halo franchise thus far. The Covenant actually being scary. If you didn't read the books, then Halo Combat Evolved is the only thing you had to develop your opinion of the Covenant military might. And if we are looking at it objectively, the Covenant kind of suck. I mean, think about it. In the first engagement over the Halo ring, the Pillar of Autumn is outnumbered and outgunned. And yet Cortana casually, if not smugly, says she isn't content with 4 kills on enemy vessels. Vessels, which according to the books, can 1v3 UNSC ships and still have a 50-50 chance of winning. Now, obviously this line is meant to be taken with a level of sarcasm, but I would argue that even if the Covenant don't destroy the Autumn, they didn't need to let 4 of their ships get blown up either. And that is just the first mission. For the rest of the game, Master Chief and Cortana embarrass the Covenant ground forces at every turn. Escape the Autumn, easy. Rescue her scattered crew, despite the Covenant fleet having orders of magnitude more men and equipment. Okay. Single-handedly assault the control room for a giant superweapon that the Covenant fanatically worship as the means to godhood. Grab your popcorn and watch me cook. And again, nerds in my comment sections, yes, I know the books try and give some lore-based reasoning for the Covenant not being able to do some of this, or not being able to do that, or Cortana doing this and not doing that. But again, we're just going over the games, and if we're all being honest with ourselves, let's be truthful, the reasons the books give are not always very strong. They're pretty weak in some cases. So let's just come out there and say it. The reason why the Covenant win in Combat Evolved is because of plot reasons and not because of logic. And because of those plot reasons, Combat Evolved makes the Covenant look more incompetent than intimidating. But here, we actually get to see that the Covenant war machine's bite may actually measure up to its bark. This is Earth. There are dozens of orbital defense platforms ready to protect her. There is one of, if not the largest human fleets ever assembled, locked, and loaded. There are hundreds of thousands of pissed off Marines, sailors, airmen, and soldiers ready to make the Covenant pay in blood for every ounce of dirt. Oh, and there is one man in particular who just got an upgrade and is ready for round 2. So if you're gonna come, you better come with every last vessel you alien scumbags can make space-worthy. Because we saw what just one ship can do against you at Alpha Halo. But they didn't. They didn't come with their mightiest fleet. They came with just 15 ships, 13 cruisers, and 2 assault carriers. And with just 15 ships, they managed to blast a hole in the orbital defense grid, deal a significant blow to the home fleet, and deploy forces to the surface. So much for home field advantage. Take the opening cutscene for example. The Covenant didn't just throw themselves haphazardly at the human defenders. They sent out boarding craft first to try and take the ODPs out of the fight. They displayed actual tactics. And those tactics may have actually worked if Chief wasn't aboard the Cairo. But with him watching over the Marines, no shot. Except, Chief can't be everywhere all at once. Yeah, wherever he currently is located is probably a pretty safe place. But unfortunately for the Malta and the Athens, he wasn't there. Listen to the excitement in the voice of the guy from the other ODP when he thinks they've beaten back the Covenant.
Malta, what is your status? Over.
I don't believe it! They're retreating! We won! This is bad. Real bad.
And then later, in the scene we are actually discussing, we get a glimpse of the battle going on outside of the platforms, and, well, it isn't going well. It seems that even though Chief was able to save the Cairo, there just wasn't enough firepower to stop the Covenant from getting inside the perimeter, and fleet casualties appear to be heavy. This is confirmed when we see the carrier in action, because even though its shields are down and it has taken damage, it is far from combat ineffective. As Chief floats towards it, a glancing blow from the carrier's plasma lance is enough to cause an internal detonation and destroy a Marathon-class cruiser. The same class of cruiser as the Pillar of Autumn, by the way, albeit without some of the extra upgrades to the Autumn told to us in the books. But even if it did have the upgrades, I am pretty sure the Pillar of Autumn wouldn't have had a chance against that assault carrier. So yeah, for all our bravado, all our preparation, all of our grit, it really doesn't look good for Earth. The Covenant seem to have sent us a message in orbit, telling us that humanity may have won at Halo, but they can still send a handful of ships against our homeworld, kick our front door down, and squat in our living room if they really want to. Or from the perspective of some of our fine ODSTs,
I take it back. Navy got its butt kicked.
And you know, if this were Halo Reach, the cutscene might end there. But this isn't, and it doesn't. So let's go back and talk about the second reason this scene is so important. If humanity has proven anything in this war, it's that we will fight until the bitter end. And this sheer determination is not unnoticed by the Covenant themselves. In the bonus material included with the Halo 2 Collector's Edition, there's a conversation between two elites discussing our tenacity and strategic effectiveness despite our technological disadvantages. Yeah, Reach may have fallen in 7 weeks, but ask the crew of the Long Night of Solace if it was without great cost. And the sacrifices of blood and material wasn't without reward, because it bought enough time for others to find Halo. And while only one ship made it to the surface of that ring, its crew was able to dash the hopes of the entire Covenant hegemony of ever obtaining its power. Simply put, We don't go down easy, no matter the situation. And that tenacity is on full display in this cutscene. Don't have a plan? Improvise. Don't have a cruiser? Use a fighter. Don't have one of our bombs? Use one of theirs. Yes, the Covenant have found Earth. Yes, it seems like they won the first round, but they haven't won yet. And even if they do, there won't be a single moment that we won't be making them pay in blood and treasure for every human life lost. The Prophet of Regret may get the opportunity to breathe Earth's atmosphere, but it will be the last breath he ever takes. This is not the victory he thinks it is. Or, in the words of another armored superhero,
you're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top. Maybe your army comes, and maybe it's too much for us, but it's all on you. Because if we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it.
This down but not out attitude really sets the tone for Halo 2. Because while Chief finds himself in somewhat familiar settings later on in the game, a completely separate story is happening just out of his view. Events that humanity could not possibly have controlled are conspiring to give the UNSC an opening they could not have possibly predicted. But that is a story for another time. I've said it before and I will say it again. The Halo series has some of the best cutscenes ever produced. And if you were ever to make a list of them, this one should be in the top 3, if not the top spot. But it isn't just amazing because of its action sequences. It's amazing because of the story it tells. It shows us that the Covenant really are the terrifying boogeymen that the lore would have you believe. It shows us that the nightmare pushed off by so many dead heroes has finally come true, and that Earth is now a battleground in this war. But it also gives us an opportunity to shine like a light in the darkness. It gives us an opportunity to show a little of that tenacity that has earned the respect of our enemies. And it gives us an opportunity to give the Covenant back their bomb. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what your favorite part of it is in the comment section below and what emotions you felt the first time you watched it. While you are there, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel for more. And before I sign off, I do want to tell you about Halo 2 ODST, so stick around if you want to learn more about that. Otherwise, I've been your host, Jacob. Thank you for blessing the channel with your viewership today, and I will see you in the next one. Last year, I started a second channel called Fairly Adventurous, where my friends and I could enjoy playing tabletop RPGs for our own amusement and hopefully yours as well. Our first series on this channel was, of course, a D&D game, and the entirety of Season 1 is available now if you'd like to watch it. However, before we started Season 2, I wanted to try something different, and that is what leads us to Halo 2 ODST. Premiering March 7th, ODST will be a dungeon crawler-esque tabletop game. It will follow 2 squads of ODSTs stationed aboard in Amberclad during the events of the Battle of Earth and the Battle of Installation 05. I will be running the game, with the troopers being controlled by my very good friends Andrew from Papa Padawan, Chase from Malcolm Punch, and Josh from JT Moo. So if you are looking for a new story from the Halo universe, and you are comfortable with some fan fiction level of writing, then hop over to Fairly Adventurous, check out the promotional material for more details, and see if it's something you'd enjoy. No obligation to come back on March 7th. No obligation to subscribe if you don't like what you see. Just go over there, check it out, and if you do like it, great. And if it's not something you're interested in, no hard feelings. A link to the channel is posted in the description below. Thank you in advance for your consideration. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, and I do hope to see you over at Fairly Adventurous. Thank you.
For a brick, he flew pretty good.